I got another banger for you guys. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Mr. Bubbles channel, where we dish out awesome pressure washing business advice to beginners. In today's episode, guys, we're finally here. Number 100. As you can see here, guys, that says, the balloon right there is says congratulations on it, guys. Really, guys, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you because, you know, man, this is a huge milestone, 100 episodes, and it could not have happened without you guys. You guys are the ones that share the videos, and you like the videos and make the comments and whatnot. And this channel, 100%, would not be what it is without you guys. So I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And guys, you know, when I first started the Mr. Bubbles channel, man, I remember it was like, it was all I could think about really was getting to 100th episode. That to me was like a really, really, really big deal. So, but here we are. Now, our next big milestone, by the way, that I want to celebrate with you guys is going to be the 10,000 subscriber mark. Now, guys, check this out. So I have 100,000 of you mad lads, berserkers that watch my channel every month, but we only have 5,000 subscribers. So that means that 95% of you guys, 95,000 people watch my channel and they're not subscribers. So if that describes who you are, you need to stop lollygagging on that and make sure you beat up that subscribe button because, guys, we're trying to take over the inner zones here. So help me out with that, okay? But anyway, before we get into today's episode, I actually wanted to get a quick announcement out of my way. As you guys know, I've been talking about this for a couple months. The Power Washing Expo, okay? The National Expo. I'm going to be in Orlando all of this week, the current week that we are in. And I'm going to be interviewing people. I'm going to be covering the event for my channel, Mr. Bubbles, the Mr. Bubbles channel. But for you guys that have not yet bought your tickets, this is your last chance to do so. It's in the description below. And you guys that are going to the event, I will see you down there. Again, guys, don't worry about it if you can't make it to this convention, because that's why I'm going in your place. I'm going to interview people. I'm going to, you know, show you guys within the next week or so what the convention is all about. So, you know, stay tuned for that content. My goal is to have all of that out within the next, you know, 4 or 5 days after I get back from the Orlando trip. But I'm super excited about showing you guys that, but also I'm going to actually get the opportunity to meet some of you guys. Since I started the Mr. Bubbles channel, I have never actually met anyone that, you know, watches my videos and all of that. So I'm super, super excited about that. So let's go ahead and get into today's video, guys. Oh my God, we've been talking about this episode for, I feel like it's been a hot minute, And I got literally over 500 questions from you guys. As you well know, today on camera, I am going to answer the top 10 questions. Again, guys, I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions. Now, a lot of the questions that I've got, I've answered. You know, of course, I have 100 episodes, so, you know, I've answered some of these questions already, or I've gotten them through emails and I've interacted with you guys and have answered them that way. But these questions that I got some of them were very different. I picked them because some of these questions I've never talked about on camera. Some I have, but I wanted to elaborate on a little bit more. And here we are. And I got my cards right here. And of course, all of you guys that send me the questions, I'm going to put your name and your handle, your YouTube handle here, somewhere here for you guys, so you guys can follow along. But and by the way, these questions here, these top 10 questions, they're not in any kind of order. I just, you know, chose, you know, like different topics to talk about. you know, that didn't match up with each other, if that makes sense. Like there's a couple on here that are about running a business, so you know they're far apart from each other. But let's go ahead and jump into the very first question, guys. This one comes to us from at Grant Taylor 2585. Let me repeat that, guys. At Grant Taylor 2585. But either way, I'll put it down here for you guys, of course. If I had to start all over again, what would be my first 90 days look like? Let me repeat that. If I had to start all over again, what would my first 90 days look like? Again, guys, this was a very interesting question. I thought it was very thoughtful because it made me think, right, about when I first started my company. Now, the way I'm going to answer this question is I am going to assume that we're talking about me not having all the resources that I now have, right? You know, if I have to start my company all over, like let's say I retired for a few years and then I decided to come back into it, but the amount of capital that I now have, I mean, you know, I'd be able to snap a finger and get an awesome rig and all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer the question as if I'm like on a very limited budget, which, you know, 95% of you guys are. So if I had to start my company, what would the first 90 days look like? It's very simple, okay? So again, let's say I have a full-time job and I'm on a limited budget, which a lot of you guys are truckers, you work for FedEx, you have your own rig, or simply you work at a job somewhere and you're thinking about, or you're in a process of putting together your pressure washing business, right? So the very first thing that I would do is I'd come up with a name. You know, I would bounce ideas around people. Initially, that's how I did it. I came up with like 4 or 6 names. You guys might be interested to know that the Mr. Bubbles name was not my original name. My original name was called House Wash Guru. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever mentioned that on camera before. The Mr. Bubbles name came around year 4. I'll talk about that in a different video. But anyway, so you need to come up with the name. The next thing, after you have your name that you're going to go with, you're gonna reach out to like a CPA. I went through my CPA to get my LLC paperwork. You're going to need this because one, you need it for a bunch of things, like for example your Google My Business, but also you're gonna need it to open up a bank account. So again, this stuff is stuff that takes about a month or so for you to get all of this paperwork together. So, and it's not very expensive. You're gonna spend about maybe a couple $100 to get all of this done. So come up with the name, get an LLC, open up a bank account. While all of that stuff is happening in the background, you know, I'm getting my logo. I've mentioned this place before, Fiverr.com. You can go in there and get a logo for like 10 bucks, 15 bucks. So I would get a logo. You see my shirt from finprint.com. It's where we get all of our shirts. I think they cost like 60 bucks. It takes 5-6 weeks for you to get the shirts because they come from outside of the country. So I would get my shirts. I would get all of my marketing lined up. Like I've talked a lot about this, you know, the 6x9 postcards. I would get those made. So the 6x9 postcards, guys, they cost $200 for 1,000. 1,000. And 1,000 of those things are, you know, you're going to pick up, you know, let's say 20 to 30 jobs. That's 9, 10, 20, maybe as much as $20,000 from those 1,000 flyers, and that's only going to cost you 200 bucks. So I would do that. The other thing is I would make sure I order some yard signs. That's not very expensive. And by the way, I've talked about this in great detail on my channel. The way I do my yard signs is I put them on the lawns of houses that I already did. So I would do it that way. And then the other thing is magnets on my truck. I would wrap my tailgate. Again, guys, I talk about this stuff all the time on my channel. You have to grow your business before you grow your equipment, right? So as all of this stuff is going on, as I'm, you know, I got my flyers coming in the mail and my magnet coming from Vistaprint, get my tailgate wrapped. That only costs about $200-300 bucks. Little by little, I'm going to be getting my equipment. That's why in the description below, I have a detailed list for you guys. It's an entire rig that you can order a couple parts a week. You know, you can order the hose reel 1 week. You can order the hoses the other week. And eventually, within that the first 45 days, so halfway of the 90 days, I would have all my marketing and all of my equipment ready to go. And I would do this with, you know, taking money little by little from my paycheck, and then at the very end, buy the machine and hook everything up. Of course, videos like mine teach you. We just went through the trailer build series, teaching you exactly how to put together your own rig. So anyway, that's what I would do. My first 45 days, I would get all my paperwork, you know, my insurance, things like all the legalities, right? All the legal stuff, the bank account, all the marketing stuff. I want to make sure I have my shirt on day one, on day 46, let's say. I want to have my professional uniform. I want to have marketing on my vehicle. I want to have like, you know, the wrap tailgate. I want to have the magnet. And then I want to have those 6x9 so I can do door-to-door marketing. Now, let's talk about from day 46 to day number 90. That's what I would do. I would do boots on the ground marketing, and then I would also optimize my Google My Business. Now, what I would do on day 46, if I already have my marketing and I already have my equipment, I would actually go to an affluent neighborhood, knock on 10 houses, and do them for free. Okay? You heard me right. Do them for free. Just knock on a house and say, hey, so sorry to bother you. Do a lot of work in your neighborhood. I'm the pressure washing guy that takes care of everybody. And today we're actually giving out one free house wash. I noticed your house could use a lot of TLC. And anyway, I'd be willing to do it for you for absolutely no cost. Again, and then as you build a relationship with that person, you do that in exchange for a Google review. So what I would do is my first 10 jobs for free in exchange for a Google review, a 5-star Google review. And then also, as I'm doing those 10 jobs for free, I'm also going to knock on a neighbor's door and do my elevator pitch that you guys know so well. But if you don't, go ahead and drop me an email. I will send you the PDF of my elevator pitch. So anyway, so from day 46 to 90, I would just be doing boots on the ground marketing and relying on my Google My Business and word of mouth. So I would do 100 sales pitches to commercial things around me, right? You know, businesses like, guys, dealerships, real easy to get. So you want to do 100 pitches, sales pitches a month to like small commercial type places, right? So your banks, your nail salons, things of that nature. And one of the recommendations I tell my guys all the time is, you know, start with the things that you're familiar with. Your personal bank, your accountant's office, the restaurant you go to. You know, talk to those people, give them your card, and go from there. But then I would also do 100 sales pitches, dirty homes. So as my business starts to grow after that, then I get better equipment, and so I get better hose reels, and maybe I get a ladder rack from my truck. Eventually, as I make more money down the line, I get wrapped and all of that. But anyway, hopefully that helps you out a little bit. That's what my first 90 days would look like, and then from there, I would just scale up. And by the way, that's a great question. I really had a fun time thinking about that one. Question number 2. Number dos. Comes to us from @FootLove950. Let me repeat that. @FootLove950. Hey, FootLove, you're not one of those weirdos that likes to look at women's feet, right? Like, man, I hope that's not you. Oh, no, wait a minute, guys. It's FUT, so he's probably a soccer lover. Oh, okay. You're off the hook, FootLove. You're off the hook. So FootLove950. Okay, so he writes, how big can a pressure washing company get? How big can a pressure washing company get? Okay, so in order to answer this immediately, very big. As a matter of fact, there's a company in my area. I don't think I've ever mentioned them before. Guys, they're the biggest pressure washing company in America. They're in Annapolis, Maryland. They do $14 million a year. Very big company. The owner, sometimes, you know, through networking, I run into him. And so there's probably your highest example, $14 million. Again, you can look at my example. I'm a $2 million company. I've been over $1 million for about 3 years now. And I network with a lot of guys that are in that $1 to $3 million range. And I know a couple of dudes that are over $5 million. So the bottom line is that's how big you can get in the millions. Now, I think the real question you should be asking, or I guess the question that to me is more interesting is, how big could you get with a one man, like being just one guy? Let's say you're not planning on having, like we have 9 rigs here at Mr. Bubbles, multiple employees, managers, and so forth. Let's say you're not planning on doing all of that, right? So I know, because I went through this in my first 4 years, you could make $250,000 a year. And I think that's the question that is really burning a hole in all of you guys' head is, how much money could a one truck, one guy make? It's around $250,000 a year. Now, I pushed that all the way to $400,000, but by then that's when I needed employees. I was getting way too many phone calls, so I needed managers, and it got kind of crazy after that. But anyway, you could very comfortably make $250,000 a year being by yourself, or you could scale up and build a huge company. In this area where I am, guys, I'm doing $2 million a year. I mean, I got 150,000 people here in my town. I am not in a huge, metropolitan type area, so you could scale this thing up quite a bit. But hey, thank you very much. Very interesting question as well. Question number 3 comes to us from @Ryan Hooper. @Ryan Hooper asks, starting out, how many drums of bleach should I buy? Now, I've never had this question. I don't think I've ever talked about this. Like, if you're starting out, Ryan, you should not be buying drums of bleach. Now, when you say drum, I envision a 55-gallon drum. And as a new guy, you do not want to buy that much bleach, because bleach, it loses its strength. From my personal experience, okay, this is my personal experience, about 0.5% a week if you leave it out in the sun. Obviously, if you have it indoors, or if you cover it, maybe you have a tarp or something, you can cover it, it might not affect it as much, the sunlight. But the bottom line is, you should not keep SH for a very long time. And I'll give you an example. Here at our shop, we get our SH delivered to our shop. We go through 600 gallons a week of SH that gets delivered here to our shop in a big truck. They come and they deliver usually on Mondays or Tuesdays. But anyway, we only have enough SH really to last us about a week. But we go through the stuff, and all of our SH is under what's called like a canopy, and then we cover all of the SH. But typically, you don't want more than to last you a week. So if you're a new guy and you're doing 4 to 6 jobs a week, and that's a week, you just want to have enough SH to last you your jobs for that specific week. And if you're still buying your SH in, let's say, those 1-gallon jugs, well, you want to make sure they stay away from sunlight. So put them somewhere where there's no light is hitting them. And then you want to have enough maybe for 2-3 days, and that's it. You should not be buying drums and drums of SH. But that's a great question. Thank you very much for that question. So moving on to number 4, guys. We have @BillyMcNeely1347. Okay. The question is now, I've gotten this question before, but I've answered it, privately through text and through phone call, and never on video. The question is, why do you do postcards instead of door hangers? Now, so here's the deal. You guys got to imagine. So I'm now celebrating, actually in 2 weeks, I celebrate my 12th anniversary in the business, right? In the industry, I should say. And I have done every form of marketing that you can possibly think of. I mean, everything, okay? And I've done, in terms of door hangers, probably 4 or 5 different designs. In the very beginning, I did this. I would say in my first 2 years, one of the very first forms of marketing that I did were door hangers. I tried one, didn't work. We changed the design. Tried that, didn't work. Changed the design, didn't work. And then we tried a 4th design that I really liked the design. As a matter of fact, here behind here, we have a warehouse in my shop, and I have a box of 3,000 of these door hangers. They're 8 or 9. No, they're like man, I want to say they're 9 or 10 years old now, guys, and they're just sitting there. Originally, it was a 5,000 batch that we got. We passed out 2,000, not a single phone call. So what I learned from my personal experience when it comes to door hangers, that it just does not work for this industry. This industry works really well when you have before and after picture, those visuals, right? So the postcards, and by the way, if you've never seen my postcard, guys, make sure you email me. I have a marketing blueprint for new guys, and I'll send you my actual design so you can know what we're talking about. But anyway, so the postcards, they have a bunch of pictures. Like they have before and after pictures, and in the back of our postcards, like when we post, you know, the services, there's pictures there. People love that. And then the other thing is that box, okay? And that's what I was going to get at, is that box that's on the top that says, one of your neighbors just got a Mr. Bubbles house wash, right? So that keeping up with the Joneses. So anyway, the bottom line is there's not enough room, you know, to do all of that with a postcard. But again, I tried it, guys. It just didn't work for me. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work in your area, but I say this all the time, guys. You know, you want to copy, you should copy success, right? So I have a proven track record already of what works. The best thing for you to do is copy what works. And I will send you that so you can copy my design. That's going to work really great for you. In my experience, by the way, you're getting 20 to 30 customers from every 1,000 of these postcards that you pass out. Again, in affluent neighborhoods and dirty houses. So you're doing target marketing with those, okay? Question number 5 comes to us from @BlackSheepEvents. The question is, what was the biggest hurdle you had when you started your business, and how did you overcome it? Okay? All right. So let's talk about this briefly, because, man, there's so many things I ran into, guys, when I first started my business. But I think the biggest was there just wasn't enough information out there, right? You got to remember in 2011-12, when I was even thinking about and starting a pressure washing business, there wasn't all of this information like now there is. You know, now, like even in my own channel here, a great example is episode 10, where we break down all the chemicals for you, teach you how to batch mix. There's a formula in there, and where I teach you with that formula, you're able to create your own house mix. Guys, like I had to learn all of that stuff. You know, my dad wasn't into pressure washing. I don't have a single family member in the industry. I don't know anyone. Of course, now I know a lot of people in the industry because of networking, but back then there was nobody that could help me. So everything I know and every single thing I've learned through a process of elimination. And the problem with that is that, you know, that costs you time, energy, effort, and a lot of money because you're doing everything the wrong way first. So that is my biggest hurdle. That was my biggest hurdle when I first started, was just, you know, not understanding like the chemical part of it. And, you know, like putting together what equipment I needed. And of course, little by little, you know, I say this all the time to you guys. You know, it takes 3 things in order for you to make it in pressure washing business, right? You guys already know this. It takes experience, chemical knowledge, and equipment, commercial grade equipment. And the way I was able to overcome these things was just by getting out there, not being afraid, and just doing it. That's the best advice that I can give you guys. I mean, some of you guys have been talking to me about, you know, starting your pressure washing business ever since I started my channel, but here you are, you haven't done anything yet. Like, just get out there, guys, and you're going to figure this stuff out. And the great thing is, you guys know I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, so you can reach out to me via email, and, you know, I can help you and be the co-pilot of your business and help you grow your business. So there you go. So again, it's just about information. There was not a lot of information, you know, when I first started, but now, I mean, you guys are spoiled with information. Okay, guys, before we get into our next question, question number 6, we're at the halfway point of this 100th episode. I really, guys, I can't stress this enough. I really wanted to thank you for all your support. And I would really appreciate that you guys, I need you to do 2 things right now, okay? You guys know, you've seen, especially you guys that binge watch my channel, and you've seen almost all of my episodes, I never really ask you guys for anything, right? I'm going to ask you for 2 things right now. I want you to pause this video, and I want you to like, hit the like button on this video so the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube gods helps us out with this video. And then the second thing that I want you to do, guys, if you have not done this already, you need to subscribe to my channel, because again, we need to get to the next plateau, which is the 10,000 subscriber mark. So please do me those two things. Number one, hit the like button, and number two, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Okay, number 6, guys. Number 6 comes to us from @WinstonScarlett8893. The question is, can you give a precise definition of downstreaming? Okay, now this is a cool one. Downstreaming, soft washing. Let's get into it. So let's also talk about what soft washing is. Soft washing is when you're either using a 12-volt pump or something like a roof pump like mine. I have an AR-45, and that means that when you spray, you're spraying under 200 PSI. Again, PSI, pounds per square inch. So it talks about pressure, right? So you're under 200 PSI, not a lot of pressure. That's why they call it soft washing, right? So if you're under 200 PSI and you're spraying a solution with a 12-volt pump, you are soft washing. Now, if you're using a pressure washer, and to apply solution through your J-rod, your tips, then you're downstreaming. Okay, in both situations, both downstreaming and soft washing, you're using a solution to wash the house. But in one, downstreaming, you're using a pressure washer. Now, let me see if I have a downstreamer here for you guys so I can show you. Oh man, I always have tons of these around here, my bench, but I don't see any now. Oh well, I have to get one for you guys on the next video. But I've shown plenty of times here in my video, my channel, what a downstreamer looks like. There's a part, it's called the downstream injector, okay? Downstream injector. That part connected to your pump, that's how you connect your line. That is how you get your solution into your line, through that downstream injector. And that is where that phrase downstreaming comes from, because of that part, downstreamer. So again, if you have a downstream injector connected to your pressure washer and you're siphoning solution to wash a house, then you are downstreaming. So in essence, the definition is this: if you are using solution to wash a house by using a pressure washer that's connected to a downstream injector, you're downstreaming. There you go. Okay? And you know what? I'll put up a picture here for you guys of what a downstreamer looks like. It looks like the letter T. So you're probably seeing it on screen now. That's what it is. So there you go. Question number 7. That was a great question, by the way. I really like that question. Question number 7 comes to us from @What'sGoodToday. @What'sGoodToday. The question is, do you fill your buffer tank at the customer's property? Now, that's a really good question. I've never answered that specific question before. So it takes roughly, and now it depends on the size of the house, it takes roughly anywhere between 150 gallons to 200 gallons to wash a house. Now, when you get to a point where you're doing 4 to 6 jobs a day, how would you do that? Imagine, for example, you got to drive 45 minutes to go do a job. What are you going to do? Go back to your shop just to get water? And you're going to do that all? You're literally, you wouldn't be able to get anything done. So when we talk to our customers, we let them know, hey, you know, this is we need to connect your water. 99% of the people are okay with that. The ones that aren't, they want us to bring water. We charge, and so should you. We charge extra for that. We charge an extra $100. So we give them the option. We say, hey, to wash your house, us using your water is going to be $3.99, but us bringing our own water is going to be $4.99. And let's say 90 to 98% of the people usually say, no, I'll just use my own water. And by the way, this is another thing I've never talked about on my channel. How much does the water bill go up? That's a very interesting question. So I've actually done some research on that. So 1 month, this was about 6 years ago, I washed my house twice in the same month. Now, each time it was like an hour and a half because I was doing, I did my deck and I did some other stuff, like my walkway. So anyway, so I was there a total of, let's say, 2.5 hours between the two times. And I noticed that there was almost a $17 difference in the average of my water bill. So we came up with the math that on average, I'm saying on average, it costs the homeowner about $8 for you to wash their house with their water. So it's the equivalent of, let's say, they're running their washing machine and while they're taking a shower, something along those lines. But it's not like, their water bill is going to go up hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It doesn't work that way. But anyway, so hopefully that answers your question. We always connect because we go through the water and it's just not feasible. Like, it's not in terms of growing your company and upscaling. It wouldn't work. You see what I'm saying? Because you're constantly having to fill your buffer tank. Now, for really big commercial projects, we actually have a meter. We have a license through the county, and we tap into the fire hydrants for that. But when we're doing residential, we 99.99999% of the times we tap into their water, and that's how we fill our buffer tanks. But thank you for the question again. Another great question. Question number 8 comes to us from Michael McDonald 4353, and the question is, what is the saving on building a trailer versus buying a trailer? Now, this is something I touched on probably lightly during my trailer build series. So here's the deal. You're probably going to save, I would say, on the maximum end. And I'm saying on the maximum end. Of course, guys, all of this depends on what kind of trailer are you buying? What kind of equipment are you buying? All of that stuff, right? But I'm going to say on the maximum end, you're going to save $3,000. That's on the maximum end. And then on the low end, you might not save anything, okay? But I would say from 0 to 3,000. But here's the deal. You're asking the wrong question. The question is, why should you build your own trailer versus buying a trailer? And this is something I have talked about, but it's one of the main topics. It's one of the main, I would say, points of my channel is stressing this to you guys. Guys, I've talked about this a lot, that making money in this business is a byproduct of your skill sets, right? So we've talked about all kinds of skill sets that you guys need to develop, like, for example, selling, that's a skill set. Marketing, branding, that's a skill set. And one of the main skill sets that you're going to have to acquire is how to maintain your equipment, how to build and maintain your equipment. So imagine you buy a rig from a guy and you know nothing about the industry. You're just new to the industry and you're coming into the industry and you buy a rig. So what's going to happen to you, you're going to go out in the field and most likely you're going to damage that equipment because you do not know how that equipment works. So what I recommend guys do is, scale up. Start small, right? Start small and then grow from there. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of how I did it. When I started in the business, I had a truck already. And what I did is I bought a pressure washer on Craigslist. You guys remember Craigslist? I don't even think they're around anymore. So the pressure washer that I bought was $50. 50. And it came with the 50-foot hose. And I brought my own hose from home. I had like a garden hose from home. And I just put everything in the back of my truck. I didn't have any reels. I didn't have any ladders. I didn't have anything. And then as I went growing in knowledge and experience and skill sets, I went upgrading my machine, my hose reels. Well, I went getting hose reels and I went from there. So the bottom line is, I recommend you building your own rig. It's not about the money that you're saving. It's about the skill set that you're acquiring for yourself. You're acquiring a knowledge that not everybody has, and therefore you're going to be able to make what not everybody makes because you know how to do things that not everybody knows how to do. And I got a great tip for you guys. after this video, go back and watch in my library. It's episode 14. Just search it out. I teach you in that episode how to create a siphon tube so you can draw your chemical. Guys, I do something with my siphon tube that nobody in the industry does. So again, that's a different skill set right there. So you're going to have one more skill set that nobody else has. And remember, the more you know, the more you'll grow. Okay? So question number 9 comes to us from, I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's 𝐕𝐄𝐒, B-A-Z-O-S-H, 𝐕𝐄𝐒, at 𝐕𝐄𝐒. So the question is, what do you do if downspouts go underground? Okay, that's a great question. Needs a little bit of reference here for you guys. This is one of our roof washing questions. Guys, I probably got, man, I want to say a good 60, 70 questions that were about roof washing, most of which were about pricing, which I've covered a lot on my channel. And by the way, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago. We just came up with a new pricing guideline for 2024, and we will email you that. It's a 2-page PDF. It has like a breakdown of all your pricing of what you should charge for, you know, washing a house and doing a roof and the square footage and all of that. And it's got gutter cleaning prices on there as well. But anyway, I'll send that to you. You know, just drop me an email. So the question the person here is referring to is, how do you wash a roof when the downspout is under the ground? Okay, so again, something I don't think I've ever even mentioned this on my channel, but I wanted to say this real quick. Because I got so many roof washing questions, I'm going to make like a priority of the Mr. Bubbles channel in the next 18 months to put a lot of roof washing content out there for you guys, because you guys got a lot of questions in that department. So I'm going to help you out with that. So, guys, every roof that you do is going to be different. That's why I recommend for new guys not to do roof washing until you've done at least 1,000 house washes. That's kind of like a rule. That's how I did it. That's just how I did it. So the reason why that is because this is a liability issue. This is where you can lose a lot of money, damage things, kill plants, and that sort of thing. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But so when you can't reclaim the chemical, right? So what you should do normally is, on your downspouts, you put a bag with a zip tie so you catch the chemical coming down the gutters, so that way it doesn't kill the lawn and the plants and whatnot, right? So what this person is referring to is, what if there is no way to catch it? What if it goes completely underground? So what you have to do in that situation, I've ran into this situation dozens of times. You just have to find out from the homeowner, and they're always going to know. You have to find out where the end of that is. Now, if it's going out into like Timbuktu and it's dumping out in the woods somewhere, you don't have to worry about it. But if it's like in the middle of their lawn, then what I do, and I just did a job, I want to say a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, where we had this, where it was in the middle of the lawn. So then all I did is I took their water hose and I left it on right there. So then when the chemical hits there, it just gets super diluted, and nothing happened there, and nothing will happen there as well. So the bottom line is, you have to find where that ends, and then you're going to have to put water there, running water, while you're doing the job. Okay? And, you know, like I said, I'm going to do a lot of roof washing videos for you guys, and that's really going to help you out. Roof washing is difficult when you're on your own, because it's easier when you have somebody like an employee, and they can be washing plants and stuff like that and helping you out while you're on the roof. So again, guys, if you're new and you have less than 1,000 houses under your belt, I don't even recommend you do roofs. That's my best advice for you guys. Okay, guys, moving on to our last question. Question number 10 comes to us from @𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒. Hopefully I said that right. 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒. The question is, if you were starting over and you could only offer 2 services your first couple of years, what would they be and why? Okay, so here's the thing. It's what I recommend anyway. When you're starting in this business, you need to learn how to downstream, or AKA wash houses, and you need to learn how to concrete clean. That's it. Guys, think about this. if every single job you go to, you're doing the driveway and the house, and that's $600, and you're doing 3-4 jobs a day like that, you're gonna make like $200K a year. Okay, $200K a year doing that. That's a ridiculous amount of money. Okay, and all you're doing is house washing, and you're doing concrete cleaning. So when I say concrete cleaning, it could be a patio, walkways, sidewalks, of course, driveways. So, and when I'm talking about concrete cleaning, guys, I'm talking about how to use a surface cleaner, right? You've seen my video, the five-step approach to concrete cleaning. You have to pre-treat, right? You hit it with a solution. Then you have to cut the borders out. Then you surface clean. Then you rinse, and then you post-treat. So you have to learn that, the 5-point technique for doing concrete cleaning, and then house washing. And there's probably 30 videos on my channel showing you guys how I do the house washing, so I highly recommend that. But that is what I would recommend, and this is why. Because when you're starting out, there's a lot you don't know. You know that old saying, you don't know what you don't know? And when you're downstreaming, it's a lot safer than soft washing, right? And a lot easier than pressure washing. So, you know, 99 is too high, but for us here as a company, like 80% of what we do is downstreaming. Downstreaming is very universal. No matter where you are in the country, you're going to be able to downstream. And downstream, you can downstream pretty much almost any surface except like brick and stucco and a couple others, but pretty much wherever you are in the country, you're going to be able to downstream. A lot of times on video, when you see me doing concrete cleaning, I'm downstreaming with my pre-treat. I use my downstreaming solution. So downstreaming is very universal, and also it's very hard for you to kill plants and damage things when you're downstreaming. Extremely easy to do when you're soft washing. So that's why I recommend learn how to downstream, aka do house washes, and then concrete cleaning. Now, so here's my rule. When you've done 1,000 of those, then you want to add some services like solar panel cleaning or gutter cleaning or roof cleaning, deck cleaning, fence cleaning. I mean, I could sit here and name a bunch of them, right? Then you're already going to be so awesome at downstreaming concrete cleaning that now you can just add more services because you're already a master of one thing, right? Like you guys remember this, right? Like master, how does the saying go? Know all the things, master of none. I forget the saying, but anyway, you don't want to be the guy that does all of these things, but you're like crappy at all of them. So what I would do is I would focus first on being really awesome at 2 things, then add a 3rd, then a 4th, then a 5th, and go on from there. Guys, wow, man, I can't thank you guys enough. 100 episodes, guys, wow, like, man, you don't know from this back end, it took a lot of hard work to create this for you guys, so I hope you guys appreciate it. And again, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're trying to take over the inner zones, okay? But yeah, thank you very much for watching this 100th episode, guys. Please tune in to the next episode, because in the next episode is going to come out within the next week or so. We're going to put out a bunch of content for you guys from the Power Washing Expo in Orlando, so stay tuned for that. And then in this video, I've mentioned several things that I can send you, like our pricing blueprint for 2024. I can send you the marketing blueprint, which has like my 6x9 postcard in it. And as you guys well know, I absolutely answer all of my emails. I'm very accessible. A lot of you guys even call me and text me and stuff, so make sure you reach out. And but yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bubbles out.